Hello and welcome back to another video. Sorry I didn't get any filming in yesterday. I had cramps and pain, so I'm gonna try and film a couple things. Today's video, the one that I'm filming right this moment, is gonna be posted Wednesday, so I'm gonna try and do Wednesday, Saturday. So yeah, today we are reading His Reasons. It's a Todoroki X Reader fanfic by AshleyH713. We are on part 45, season 4, chapter 9. Yep. I know I've got a message notification. Dated 3 weeks ago. Okay, yeah. But, I brought water this time. That's not what I was gonna say. I had something else, but I don't remember what it was. If you can hear my family, it is midday right now, so everyone is up and doing things. Yeah, I have a candle burning. I didn't rain it until after I burned it yesterday too. It smells good. It's watermelon, citrine. What is it? Where is the sticky thingy that I pulled off of it? This is what it is. Whatever. It's meant to be used outside to make mosquitoes go away, but I like the smell of it, so I burn it in my room. It's a cute little, it's a little pink candle, little thing. You can hang it up like on the outside thing. It's cute. Yeah. Alright, let's begin. Katsuki Bakugo was living his worst nightmare. No, it wasn't a villain attack or anything like that. Rather, the large silhouette of his mother standing in his classroom doorway, his own sanctuary, ruined. It was something he had feared since hearing about that stupid family day crap. Now he had to deal with that old hag. She practically skipped into the room, her annoying arms open wide to her son in excitement. Katsuki, it's so good to see you again. I hope your dumbass isn't getting into any trouble. Wrapping her arms around Bakugo, she squeezed the life out of him, only for the boy to shout back, already trying to get out of her grip. Get your damn hands off of me, you old hag. Go find Amari and bug her for God's sakes. Although the woman only grabbed tighter, ignoring his words and frowning. Don't speak to me like that, Katsuki. Just because you're living on your own doesn't mean you can act like such an ass all the time. Blinking in surprise, this caused all of his classmates to look at the boy curiously. So this was Bakugo and Amari's mother? Somehow it made sense, knowing that anger ran in the family now. So that's where they got their rough attitude. Deku rounded the corner then, laying eyes on the woman as Mitsuki suddenly let go of her son, now running up to the green-haired boy in question as she stepped over Katsuki's gasping breath. Izuku, it's so lovely to see you again. How have you been? Feeling a slight bit of embarrassment in his cheeks, Deku started back, missing the woman as well. Oh, I've been okay, Bakugo. How have you been? She sighed heavily then, pointing to her son, that was still recovering from her death grip. Aw, you're still so sweet. I can't believe I haven't seen you in so long. I hope Katsuki's been treating you well. If not, it's okay. You can tell me, and I'll kick his ass for you. Deku blinked in surprise and decided to lie to the woman, now worried about Kachan's life if he told her the truth. Well, you know, Kachan is Kachan, but it's alright. Mitsuki smiled in understanding as Bakugo suddenly sprung up, his face red with anger and embarrassment. Hey, stop talking like that, damn Deku. Stop talking to that damn Deku already. He's just a loser. Bakugo's mother shook her head, though, ignoring his words as she muttered. Where are your manners? He was your childhood friend, Katsuki. You need to be nicer to him. The boy's face turned red in embarrassment as his classmates chuckled behind him, clearly enjoying the show that was displaying in front of them. Yeah, this was his worst nightmare. If only Amari was here, she was always able. She was always able to quell that woman, although his prayers were answered when the girl in question poked her head through the door, a small smile on her face. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Her voice was like a breath of fresh air, Katsuki immediately taking her by the shoulders and pushing her into their mother in a single motion. Finally! Finally, get your ass in here and quell her already. She's already pissing me off. Wobbling a couple steps, Amari found her mother's eyes, now smiling slightly at the woman. "Hi, Mom." At her daughter's voice, Mitsuki felt a ball of emotion in her throat, her attitude turning a complete 180, like usual. "Hello, my sweet girl. How are you doing?" She accepted an embrace from the woman as the other students started to feel whiplash from this woman. Did she always act like this with the kids? Sorry if I'm getting loud. Again, midday, and I'm not afraid to laugh at this. Her attitude... Okay. She accepted an embrace from the woman as the other students started to feel whiplash from this woman. Did she always act like this with her children? That household must have been interesting. Nodding beneath her arms, Amari replied plainly, "I'm doing good. I miss you too. And Dad, though. It's so great to see you again." Mitsuki smiled at her daughter then, nodding back. "Oh, we miss you also, sweetie. I hope Katsuki's been treating you well." Laughing back, she could hear her brother shouting at them, crossing the room as Amari answered with a small smile. "We've been good." Her mother seemed happy with this, now seeing Bakugo turn his sister around forcibly to look at him. "What the hell is in your hair, you idiot?" Blinking in surprise, Amari turned her brow in confusion as a large finger wrapped around a small piece of paper before showing her. "Oh, it must be from the party we threw with our class. That little confetti gets everywhere, huh?" Bakugo just shook his head in exasperation, now picking confetti out of her hair. You're so damn scatterbrained. All the time, I swear. What am I going to do with you?" Their mother watched his interaction with a small smile on her face. It made her heart so happy to know that the twins were finally getting along after so many years. She could tell something had changed with them recently, and Mitsuki was thankful for it. Changing the subject, Bakugo's mother then looked around the classroom, her voice carrying so the entire room could hear her. "So where is my future son-in-law? I haven't seen him yet today." At her words, Amari's face suddenly turned bright red as everyone in the class bursted out laughing, knowing she was referring to Todoroki. "But, Mom, don't call him that, seriously." Shaking her head, her mother smirked under her breath. "It's your fault that you don't bring him around anymore, so I had to get my revenge." Amari grumbled in response as Mina answered back. "Todoroki has been elected to help out with the other classes, so he's been busy." Denki joined in then, wrapping his arms around Amari's shoulder and whispered to her, "Listen, between you and me, he's been really mopey the last couple days. You should really kiss and make up already. We're sick of seeing it." Blushing slightly, Amari threw Denki's arm off before shaking her head. She knew he was probably upset, but she would never have expected him to act mopey. "Guys, cut it out. I have my reasons for being upset, even though it's none of your business." Mitsuki couldn't help but chuckle at this, watching her daughter try to reason with her classmates, looking as alive as ever. It made her feel thankful for Yue. That's when she caught Bakugo staring at her and smirked, calling out her son. "Katsuki, come here. I have something for you." Katsuki grumbled, but complied, not wanting her to bring him any more embarrassment to his class. "What the hell do you want now, you old hag? Just leave me alone." But the woman did no such thing, just reaching into her bag and answering, "Shut up, you damn brat. I found this while cleaning your room yesterday and brought it for you." Twisting his brow in confusion, Katsuki's stomach dropped suddenly, now seeing a small unwrapped paper he had shoved in his desk on his birthday. It was the gift Amari had gotten him, the one he yelled at her for all those months ago. "What?" His mother touched the paper before handing the object to Bakugo, his hand shaking slightly at the sight. "I won't ask why you haven't opened it yet, but I think she'd want you to have it regardless." My candle is flickering like someone wants to tell me something. If you believe in the spirits can talk through candles and cards and stuff like that, that is something I believe in, and I enjoy it. And it's flickering every so often, like they're enjoying the story, so I'm glad they're enjoying the story as well. Sorry for interrupting. Receiving the gift, Katsuki looked down at the small tag with his name on it before a large ball of emotion entered his throat. His shame, his mistakes came rushing back to him in one hot wave, causing the boy to step back in fear. Mitsuki eyed him with pity as someone tapped the boy's shoulder, his sister's voice reaching out in concern. "Katsuki, are you okay?" Blinking to life, Bakugo quickly shoved the small gift into his pocket before scoffing back, trying his best to keep his voice even in front of the entire class. Yeah, it's none of your business. Amari seemed concerned at that, already stepping forward. Are you sure? You look shaken about something. But as she tried to touch his shoulder, Katsuki freaked and slapped her hand off before moving quickly to the door. I already said forget it! God, you're so annoying! His harsh words was not lost on the girl as a wave of hurt coursed through her. Sorry, I just... Seeing that expression on her face made Bakugo falter even more, realizing the familiarity from it. It was like they were back in the past when he used to project his anger on her. He hated that look. Her words trailed away from her, not wanting to anger him in any way, but instead changing the subject. Anyway, I was wondering if I could talk to you about the case I'm working on. I mentioned it to you before, but I kind of just blew it off, and during her explanation, Bakugo felt a sick sensation in his throat, not wanting to get into this topic. He honestly didn't know what to think about his sister working on a case without him. It scared him, knowing that he couldn't help her. It's because there's nothing to say about it. Twisting her brow in confusion, Amari pushed. Yeah, I know, but you just seem weird about the whole thing, and I was wondering if you wanted to talk about it or something. At that, Bakugo slammed his fist on the desk next to him before shouting back, scaring the girl in question as his emotions poured out. No, I don't want to fucking talk about it, Amari. The class was stunned into silence at his harsh tone, the girl in question flinching at his tone, terrified she had pushed him too far. Katsuki, Although Katsuki was done, his surplus of emotions took over, and he knew he had to leave or else the boy would say something he truly regretted. So he did the next best thing. He walked out of the classroom silently, his hands stuck in his pockets, roughly. Some brother he was. The boy couldn't even control his emotions properly. He just wanted to tell his sister that he was terrified of sending her on a mission alone, a mission that could very well kill her. He just got her as a sister, and the boy didn't want to lose her again. Bakugo was terrified of that. Grumbling as he walked, Bakugo finally found an empty corner of the school and progressively kicked the side of the building in anger. Frustrated himself for his choices, if only he could be more like Amari, able to express her feelings so openly, so freely. He was always jealous of that part of her. He then shoved his hands into his pocket and felt the small box touch his fingertips as he pulled it out. The boy hadn't seen the present in forever, just shoving it in the bottom of his drawer as soon as he received it. Why did that old hag have to dig up such unpleasant memories? Touching the paper, Bakugo was ashamed to open her gift, always afraid of what would be inside, what words she may have said. During the time Amari thought he hated her, he didn't want to go back to that time ever again. Bakugo carefully unwrapped the box, then the paper ripping under his hand as a small note taped to the top started to reveal itself. His name was scribbled on the top in her own familiar writing as he read the contents. Katsuki, I know you probably won't ever read this, or we'll just throw this gift away, but regardless, I wanted to say happy birthday. It's okay though, because one day I'll make it so you will open my present, and then maybe we can celebrate our birthdays together. I would really like that, Katsuki. You see, I never really liked my birthday, but I think it would be okay if we could share it together. I know you don't want me to be a hero and everything, but I feel it in my blood, just like you. I hope you understand someday, even if it isn't today. Someday I will make you see that I am a Bakugo too. Amari. Crumbling the paper in his hand, Bakugo shook his head at the letter. If he only had read this before, then maybe he would have understood her faster. Maybe she wouldn't have had to go through so much. The first sentence was heartbreaking in itself. The girl knowing he wasn't even going to open the gift. He was such an asshole. He then looked at the small box in front of him and carefully opened the contents before gasping. In the box was an old drawing Amari had done in the hospital, with two small stick figures representing Bakugo and herself as they fought an imaginary villain. The cry. Oh, god damn. I love it. It's happy, sad tears. That's what they are. Their hero costumes were matching, with Bakugo using his signature grenade cuffs with a black and orange scheme that he created, while his sister sported a black and gold scheme. The one thing that tied the two together was a small, bright orange necklace around the female stick figure's throat, while a matching bracelet of the same color around the boy as a small caption was written in crayon saying, "Bakugo Twin Power." Some of the words were spelled wrong, but Bakugo could still feel a wave of emotion in his throat. She kept this crappy drawing all this time? Her dream to be a hero never went away. He then looked into the box again, only for his heart to completely stop. Staring back at him was a very small orange bracelet that he had designed as a child, complete with a small embroidered bee on the side. Just like they had talked about all those years ago. God damn it. She made his for him? The idea itself was overwhelming as hot tears built up in his eyes. He really didn't deserve her as a sister. How could she still remember something so stupid? God damn it. It was like it was precious to her. Just then, the second part of her letter stuck in his mind. Who was he to deny her becoming a hero when they shared the same blood, the same desire? Yes, he was terrified, but he needed to trust her, to put his faith in her power. It's as her letter said. She was a Bakugo. God damn it. It was cute. Okay. Amari was on her way back to her classroom as she ran her fingers through her hair. She silently hoped Katsuki was okay, as it seemed like he was perturbed with something. Maybe she shouldn't have brought up Ari's case with him. He seemed upset by it somehow. Sighing to herself, the girl sighed only for a giant hand to wrap around her wrist, pulling her into a nearby classroom. Amari squeaked in surprise, now feeling the hand tighten around her. What the hell? Get off me! She began to fight her attacker when a familiar voice stopped her struggle. Amari, it's me. Yep. Blinking in surprise, Amari then locked eyes with Todoroki, his features darkened from the lack of light in the empty classroom. Shoto, what are you doing? His fingers let go then, now reaching forward to grab her in a single motion. I was hoping we could talk. She really wanted to give into his sweet voice, but then the girl remembered she was mad at him, pulling away so she wouldn't get swept away by his charm. Oh no, don't do that. I'm still mad at you. So don't even try to pull that cute face of yours. Todoroki frowned at her rejection and began talking, knowing he had to keep her here somewhere. Amari, you have to understand where I'm coming from. Shaking her head, the girl didn't want to hear his words right now. Listen, if you're going to try and convince me to stop trading with Endeavor again, then I don't want to hear it. I've already made my choice. He lowered his eyes then, realizing that was exactly what he was trying to do. I understand you have this invisible faith in him, but I can't trust him to take care of you, especially if something happens. I just don't want to lose you again. Amari's eyes saddened then, turning around to meet his eyes. That's not going to happen. I'm not going anywhere. I truly believe that your dad would never hurt me. I've seen a different side of him, Shoto, and I trust him. Todoroki's eyes twisted in disgust then. Amari, please don't be foolish. That man cannot be trusted. I've learned from experience. The fact that he was calling her foolish made the girl frown, already feeling a ball of annoyance in her throat. You're the one who is being foolish. What will you do if he's actually trying to change? If he wants a relationship? Are you going to turn away from him? Although the boy could shake his head, her words sounded ridiculous. Impossible. Why haven't you realized that he's manipulating you? He has to be, because there's no way he would do those things otherwise. Sighing in frustration, Amari was over Todoroki's attitude. She understood his hatred for the man. He was completely blinded by the past, not wanting to believe that Endeavor could possibly change. If he was all about himself, then why did he help a weak girl like herself train to become a hero? Why did he get her on a pro-hero case? No, there was something else there, something Todoroki refused to see. Grumbling back, Amari turned around, knowing she couldn't change his mind overnight. I'm not listening to this anymore. I'm sorry you don't approve, but there is a little girl out there that needs me, and I will do anything to save her. Todoroki watched her walk away, felt his hands reach out absent-mindedly, only for her to shake it away. Wait, Amari. The girl continued to walk, though, causing the boy with no other option than to wrap his arms around her waist, pulling the poor girl into his lap while they tumbled down with a thud. What? Groaning at the impact, Amari began to struggle as the boy's hold tightened. Shoto, let me go. Although Todoroki shook his head, burying his face in her shoulder in a desperate attempt to keep her here. Amari, please listen to me. I'm sorry. I never wanted us to fight like this. Amari stopped moving then, feeling her hands wrap around Todoroki's lightly. I don't want us to fight either. Listening to her voice, the boy then spoke into her shoulder once more, his voice small and smooth. I just don't want you to experience any more sadness. I don't want you to get hurt anymore. Is that so terrible? Am I wrong for wanting that? Her eyes lowered at his tone, replying back softly. Of course not, Shoto. I don't want to see you hurt either, but you can't keep me in a box. Being a hero is going to put us both in dangerous situations. That's just the job. We have to be able to trust each other. That will be okay. Nodding back, Todoroki then lifted his head, a frown upon his face. You are right, even if I don't enjoy the fact. But when you went missing a few months ago, I felt like I lost a part of myself. That is something I refuse to feel again, and having to put my faith in my old man to protect you, I just can't do that. Maya thought about his words for a moment before turning around and touching his face lightly with her fingers to calm him. If you can't trust your father right now, then trust me, Shoto. Trust that I will come back to you, always. Oh, I'm gonna cry again. Todoroki closed his eyes at the sensation, enjoying the feeling of her fingertips gently touching his skin. I just don't want to live without you. Smiling softly under her breath, Amari answered back in a whisper. You won't have to, because I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere, Shoto. Not now. Not ever. He touched a strand of her hair then, feeling relieved with her words. Maybe he couldn't trust his father with Amari. That didn't mean he had to stop her from her dreams. Even if he was afraid, the boy knew she was right. Being a hero was all about risking their lives. Todoroki's fingers lightly touched her face then, his voice lowering in a deep timbre? Nope, no idea what that says. Sorry. The tone causing Amari to shiver under his touch. I love you, Amari. More than anything. More than anyone. That's cute. A large blush found its way onto her cheeks as Amari replied back gently. I love you too, Shoto, and I promise that will never change. He then lifted his hand to rest 2 fingers under the girl's chin, slowly bringing it up to meet his eyes as he hummed. How did I get so lucky? The blush returned even deeper as the girl gazed into his 2-toned eyes, all at once feeling some sort of power with them. I should be asking myself the same question, Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki smiled under his breath then, before leaning forward and pressing his lips against Amari's, his fingers still keeping her head in place as he did so. Oh, I think the baby just got hurt. Grasping onto his shirt, Amari welcomed the action. Missing the sensation of his lips on hers after only a couple days, his touch was like a drug to her, more than those pills ever were before. His other hand touched her lower waist before pulling the girl closer to him, their bodies colliding with each other, given the proximity between each other. They always found it hard to kiss, given their height difference, but here they were at the same level. Amari groaned at the sensation of This is the wrong sentence to be reading when someone's outside your door. This is a bad sentence to be reading when someone's right outside the door. Okay, I think they just walked away. I think it was my sister. Amari groaned at the sensation of his lips on her. Hungry for his touch. This sentence, I know they're out there still. Hungry for his touch as she hoisted herself up to wrap her arms around his shoulders so that she was taller than him for a change. I'm sorry if you didn't hear that sentence. I'm trying to be quiet now because I can hear them outside the door. Todoroki welcomed the position and responded by using his hands to push her into himself, feeling their connection more than ever. God damn it. I'm just hoping if my mother hears this, she doesn't ask me about it later. I can already hear the conversation that would ensue. Okay. Feeling their connection more than ever. God, he had missed her. It had only been a couple days of arguing, but they were torture all the same. They're right fucking there. I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. I'm terrified. I'm terrified you can't hear me. I'm trying to be. I'm really close to the microphone right now, just in case. But I am really scared you can't hear me. I'm getting quieter, okay? I don't know if you can tell because I'm bringing the microphone closer to my face, but I'm fucking scared that someone is listening to my conversation with myself right now. Okay, sorry. Did that get loud? I can see it right here. I am a little loud. I can tell. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I'd say listen with headphones because you probably don't want your parents listening to fanfic reading, but I'm being fairly loud to the microphone aspect right now, even though I am whispering into the microphone just in case someone is outside my door. I think they're gone. I heard a door shut at the end of the hall, so I think my mom is putting my brother down for a nap. So I think we're safe now. I'm just gonna read the last 2 sentences over again, and I am so sorry it took so long for that to end. Amari groaned at the sensation of his lips on hers, hungry for his touch as she hoisted herself up to wrap her arms around his shoulders so that she was taller than him for a change. Todoroki welcomed the position and responded by using his hands to push her into himself. Feeling their connection more than ever. God, he had missed her. It had only been a couple days of arguing, but they were torture all the same. He felt his fireside threaten to rise up as the moment grew more intense, but the boy forced it down quickly, not wanting to burn the poor girl because he couldn't control himself. He couldn't help it. Her lips, her touch, they were everything to him, and all he wanted was to love her more, to show her how much he cared. Amari broke away then, her eyes hazy as she touched his face lightly in concern. Her chest heaved out a shaky breath, now looking at his distressed state. Are you okay? Todoroki looked in her eyes for a moment before nodding back, his voice low and deep. I'm alright. I'm sorry. I can't control myself very well. I'm afraid I'm going to burn you. Her eyes fell then, before reaching forward and grasping his left hand, his fireside, and placing it up to her face lovingly. Shoto, I trust you. You don't have to worry about that. We can stop if you want. Sorry, I may have gotten a little carried away as well. I'm wondering where this is heading, but I haven't seen any not safe for work warning yet, so I'm not too worried, but I'm a little worried. Because they are only down the hall. If I talk loud enough, they will still hear me. But as she said that, Todoroki pulled her closer, his voice rough and husky. I don't want to stop. I don't know how to do rough and husky, sorry. Blushing back with a deep hue, Mari nodded her head once before leaning closer to him. All right, but if you get uncomfortable, just... Her words cut off, though, as he kissed her again, the boy groaning at the sensation as Amari closed her eyes once more, now feeling comfortable that he was okay with everything. Running her fingers through his hair, Amari suddenly felt extremely warm as her cheeks grew red, just as Todoroki pulled away and looked at her with equally hazed eyes, hungry for each other. His hands then pulled her body down on, only to plant loving small kisses on her nose, cheeks, and forehead, trailing down to the collarbone As the sensation tickled, she just felt so loved, so adored in this moment. It was like Todoroki was showing her how much he cared through his touch. Feeling her tie loosen, the boy then respectively undid only the top button before kissing the nape of her neck until he circled down to the center of her shirt. What? Until he circled down to the center where her shirt was still buttoned. She could... I'm so terrified someone's gonna hear me right now. I don't think they're right there, but I'm just scared. This is the wrong part of the book for someone to be outside my door. God damn. Okay. It's the cat. It's the fucking cat. God damn it. Tuss! Come on, man. The hell? You scared me. That time. The other time, I'm positive. I could hear them talking outside. Okay. Where her shirt was still buttoned, she could tell he was being careful, respectful of her space, which Amari was thankful for. She gripped his shirt before repeating the action on the boy himself, copying his moves by planting kisses on the same location before undoing his own tie and continuing in a respectful manner. When she pulled away, Todoroki just stared at her without speaking. He eyed the woman in front of him and admired everything about her. The fact she wasn't disgusted by his touch, the fact she accepted him as he was, scars and all. He had never loved anyone as much as he loved Amari. The boy wanted to say it that way. Carefully touching her face, Todoroki smiled under his breath, a smile that made Amari's stomach fill with butterflies as he regained his claim on her lips once more. I can't. All that crying. And the fear of someone being outside. And I'm so sorry for all the interruptions. Okay. He regained his claim on her lips once more. Just then, the door slammed open as a loud, booming voice startled the two of them all at once, breaking the moment almost immediately. Amari's face. Okay, let's see. It was Todoroki's. Okay. Bakugo, there you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. Amari's face suddenly changed into pure terror as she laid eyes on Todoroki's father. Oh no, had he just seen them making out like that? Oh god, she hoped not. Covering her embarrassment, Amari quickly stood up before ignoring the subject altogether. It's okay, maybe he didn't see. Endeavor, what are you doing here? The man frowned back before replying. Short. There's a lead in the case. Sir Naidai wants everyone back at the agency, immediately. Amari's chest pounded in hope then. Finally, they had a lead. Finally, she could save that little girl. Wait, really? Nodding back, Endeavor then pointed behind him. Come on, Bakugo, we are leaving. The girl paused then, staring between Endeavor and Todoroki before the man spoke, a slight sarcasm in his voice. Unless you would rather continue making out with my son. At that, Amari's face grew into a raging red blush as the man pointed to her and showed those loosened ties, a single undone button. Oh crap, he did see. You don't have to put it like that. The man only shook his head, though, already making his way out the door. Hurry up, then. I'm leaving. Hurry up, then, or I'm leaving you behind. Quickly fixing her tie and button, Amari then began to hurry towards the door, but not before turning to Todoroki with a small smile. Wish me luck, Shoto. Todoroki gave her a small nod before seeing her leave in front of his father, a deep pain of worry in his chest now. Please let her be okay. Please let her be safe. Endeavor began to leave as well, only to pause when he felt his son's hand touch his arm quickly, stopping the man in question. What is it, Shoto? Twisting his brow in disdain for his father, Todoroki then looked down at the ground before muttering, Make sure she's okay. Please. The number one hero was certainly surprised at this, never seeing his son so desperate before. In fact, he had never asked for anything from him his entire life. That's why this was so odd. Turning to see Amari's back, Endeavor was silent for a moment before speaking back roughly and plainly. Bakugo is part of my agency, Soto. Therefore, she represents the Todoroki name, and I won't let anyone dishonor it. I won't let my agency fail. Fall? Close enough. His words sounded cruel and uncaring, but for some reason, Todoroki felt something else there. Maybe it was the look in his eyes, but it was like his father was saying, I will protect her, in his own kind of language. It didn't fully make him feel better, but it was what he got, now watching the man slowly turn the corner away from his sight. He really hoped his father would keep his word, or else there would certainly be hell to pay. really hot in my house for whatever reason. Totally not the reason that I have a heating pad on my stomach because I've got cramps. That is not why it's hot. I'm so sorry for interruptions. Today is just not my day to read. Interruptions. ADHD? Possibly. Who knows? Never been diagnosed. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I'm going to keep going now. Walking with Endeavor by her side, the girl could feel the stares on her back. It wasn't every day that the number one hero showed up at UA to pull a student out of class. Being a trainee still seemed weird to the girl, but looking around now, it felt extra weird. They turned another corner then. Suddenly a loud booming shout echoed through the space, causing both the hero and the girl to stop in their tracks. "Hey, idiot!" Amari turned around only to find Bakugo racing up to her at a rapid pace, his hand outstretched as an explosion popped in his hand. "Katsuki, what are you—" Although she didn't get an answer as the boy threw his hand in her direction, causing the girl to gasp, blocking his attack with her gold shields. What was he doing? Why is he attacking her in the middle of the hallway? "Whoa, hey, what the hell are you doing?" Katsuki didn't respond once more, instead throwing another fist towards her stomach as Amari countered it with her own explosion. What was going on with him, and why wasn't he talking? "What, are you pissed or something? Because if so, then just use your words like a normal person, Katsuki." He only grumbled under his breath, though, kicking his leg into her side, which caused Amari to groan back in annoyance. Now, taking her gold hands and pressing him into the same leg. The heat began to sizzle as Bakugo growled before pulling away as she blocked another fist in anger. What the hell was his problem right now? On-looking students eyed the fight with concern, wondering why the teachers weren't doing anything about it. Even Endeavor hadn't stepped in. It was almost like they were seeing what she could do in this kind of a situation. Focusing extremely hard, Amari felt her breath shallow as she then lifted her hand up, trapping Bakugo in one of her protective bubbles as she shouted, "You know this is going really far, even for you." Katsuki only narrowed his eyes, though, seeing her weaken slightly, and took the advantage, now jamming his fist into the top of her shield, causing it to shatter apart. "Is that all you got?" The impact causing the girl to gasp, feeling that slight familiar metallic substance in her mouth as she clutched her heart slightly. He was being such an asshole right now, and it was pissing her off. Closing her eyes in concentration, Amari then narrowed her stance. She let out a large explosion, blowing the boy in question off his feet, just when he was about to jump at her. Bakugo tumbled to the floor in a heavy thud as she wiped a small bit of blood from the corner of her mouth, now strolling up to him slowly. "Now, do you want to tell me what the hell is your problem?" Just then, Katsuki let off another explosion, blowing the girl off her feet and landing a few feet away in equal thud as her brother stood back up. That jerk. Coughing at the impact, Amari felt his presence and readied herself to her feet when he stopped and just stared at her, an uncomfortable silence echoing through the space. Then he reached down and extended his hand to her. "You're ready." Blinking in surprise, Amari looked at his hand before turning her brow in confusion. What the hell did that even mean? Then the pieces slammed into her all at once. Was he testing her? Was that why he attacked her so suddenly without reason? "Were you testing me?" Her brother grumbled in response before scoffing. "I was making sure a villain wasn't going to kick your ass while I'm not there." Mari's eyes turned to understanding all at once, now knowing that he was doing this for her, for good reason. Wait, did that mean that he was worried for her fighting without him? Maybe that's why he didn't want to talk about the case with her. Accepting his hand, Bakugo then pulled her up, only to reach into his back pocket and pull out a small box before throwing it in her direction. "Here, take it." She twisted her brow in confusion, now eyeing the box slowly. "What is it?" Katsuki threw his hand in his pockets, grumbling out a response. "Since I never got you anything for your birthday." I got a text. Amari's eyes widened then as she caught the sight of the orange bracelet on his wrist, the very bracelet she had given him for his birthday at the start of the year. It's fine, it was just a Facebook post. Nothing to worry about. Okay. Touching the material, the girl smiled, a small wave of emotion coursing through her. "You opened it. I always thought you threw it out." A small ball of shame rose in his throat, then, coughing to cover his cracked voice. "You idiot, of course not. Are you going to open it, or am I going to have to take it back?" Shaking her head, Amari then refocused her attention on the gift before opening the small box and almost dropping the contents inside. Katsuki, her voice choked on the words as she pulled the object out into her hand. It was a bright orange choker necklace with a small bee on the inside. In fact, it was the same necklace that she had drawn and imagined in her hero costume to have as a child. When she turned in her costume file for school, Amari had decided to change the design, knowing that Bakugo would have been upset with the copy design since they didn't really look at each other as twins back then. But now their costumes matched. The tears began to well up in her eyes as Katsuki's voice returned, making her heart skip with pride. Now go show those extras what a Bakugo really is. A smile etched its way onto her face as Amari nodded her head back, the tears slipping onto her cheeks now. It was like he was saying he trusted her to do this alone. Thank you, Katsuki. Bakugo gave a half-hearted nod before glaring at Endeavor and sharing a look that meant he better look after his sister or else. The man took his warning before strolling up to the girl and speaking. Bakugo, we have to go. She nodded her head before gripping her necklace in her palm, now ready to face anything they threw at her. Just hang on, Eri. They were coming. That was cute, and I am so sorry for all the interruptions. I'm so sorry. If you've made it this far. Possibly. Maybe? If you have, thank you. Thank you. This is where I began the ramble, so if you don't want to listen to my rambles, I'm sorry. That you had to listen to it earlier, and you can leave now. This is the end. You should go follow AshleyH713. I like their content. I like their stuff. I'm debating on asking if I can read some more of their stories when I'm done with this one. Yeah. I want to get another one done. I want to get another one that I can post next Saturday. Done recording now. That way I have at least a week log of time before I have to attempt to do this again. It's just so tired. So tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because it's the weekend and I like to stay up late. And I figured I was going to be staying up late recording, but no, I didn't do that. So, yep. Alright. You will hear me in the next video. Bye-bye.